Now is Nassar Mashni, President of the Australia-Palestine Advocacy Network. Good afternoon, Nassar.
Good afternoon, Kath.
Now, the Prime Minister has delivered what some would say are his strongest comments to date. What is your reaction to what you just heard?
We welcome the Prime Minister's stance and his language, and I would say to him it's 596 days too late. We're on day 597 of what the International Court of Justice said was a plausible genocide. What we've got is world leaders now perhaps scrambling to clean up their legacies. He talked about Israel as being a democracy. This is not a democracy. It's a rogue apartheid genocidal state headed up by a war criminal. It's time for Australia to do more than just talk about words, but to put things in place like sanctions, like ending two-way military trade and cancelling our contract with Albert Systems that killed Australian aid worker Zomi Francon.
Okay, so just on some of the things that you're calling for there on the trade, this is a highly contested claim. The government insists that no weapons have been exported to Israel in the last 5 years.
Well, we don't accept that. We've seen evidence presented by David Shoebridge and the Greens, Michael West Media, etc. Earlier on this year, we saw a weapon in the hands of an Israeli minister in Gaza that was manufactured in Queanbeyan. Australia is complicit in the weapons trade, in supplying, in supporting this genocide. It's time for us to end two-way military trade. With
respect to sanctions on Israel, we know that Australia hasn't signed up to that statement over the weekend. The Prime Minister says it's because the statement was by members of the G7. Is that fair?
Well, it's a G7 statement. There's nothing stopping us from going out on our own. There's nothing stopping us from like-minded countries joining. Spain said some stuff. Canada was part of that G7, and we've signed on with Canada previously. Australia needs not to be the last country to enact sanctions against this rogue apartheid state. We need to do the right thing. We took a leadership role in apartheid South Africa. We can take a leadership position in apartheid Israel.
We heard there that the Prime Minister said that he communicated his concerns and his criticisms to the Israeli President when he was most recently in Rome. Is that a step that you welcome?
Well, the reality is Israel hasn't listened. Our Foreign Minister urged Israel to show restraint in the very early stages. We've called upon Israel. Israel's not listening. It's a rogue state. It's time to treat it that way. And that includes sanctions, it includes recalling our ambassador, expelling the Israeli ambassador, and ensuring that that fugitive, Benjamin Netanyahu, that fugitive war criminal, is held to account in The Hague.
What are your observations of the internal pressures that the government is facing over this?
I don't imagine there's that much internal pressure. I mean, we welcome former Minister Ed Husick's commentary over the weekend. The ALP has had a very strong position on Palestine, and it's held back for whatever reason. Perhaps it's been the Israel lobby, which we've seen to be impotent at the last election. It's time for the ALP to lean in to a more just position, to the elbow, quote-unquote, of old. It's time for Palestine to be free from the river to the sea. He knows what that means. We know what that means. It's equality and humanity for all people in that geography, not just the Jewish people. No supremacy.
Nassar, apart from doing interviews and advocacy work through public media, what more will you do as President of the Australian-Palestine Advocacy Network to further your cause and your campaign?
Look, we're working with various advocacy groups, but also unions. We're briefing people every day, and the movement for Palestine is it's unimaginably large. We never thought we'd be in this space. Today, the spaces that are open to us, whether they be writers' festivals, music festivals, theatres, etc., they were doors that were closed to us. The world is awake now to what Zionism actually is, a racist ideology, a supremacist belief system that elevates one over another. And the space that Israel inhabited on October 6 has disappeared. The milk's been spilt. Israel never gets to go back to being that normal country again. And the fight for justice for Palestine, but also for so many other othered people, won't stop.
Nassar Mashni, President of the Australia-Palestine Advocacy Network, thank you.
Thank you, Heather.
Prime Minister.